and we're getting some more inputs on the story now. As per aviation sources, we are getting you the details of the first flight under Operation Ajay. Now, the flight was carrying extra pilots, technicians and engineers. The flight was carrying 2 sets of crew, and the flight will be operational till 18th October in the first phase, and the call to be taken post that, depending on the Indians that are still stranded in Israel. And we have CNN News 18's Ridhima Bhatnagar joining us to tell us more about this operation. Ridhima, over to you.
Anjali, good morning to you and to all our viewers. As you rightly pointed out, these are exclusive details that we in fact put out on CNN News 18 yesterday. So Operation Ajay now is underway with the first flight that is already landing in the national capital early morning, somewhere around 6 a.m. The flight, as you rightly pointed out, was in fact carrying over 200 Indians, 212 to be exact. They were all welcomed by Union Minister Rajiv Chandrasekhar at the airport. Now remember, we already know that there are estimated to be about 18,000 Indians that are stranded in Israel. The Operation Ajay is a repatriation process that has been undertaken by the Indian government. As you rightly pointed out, now what we're picking by means of sources is that in the first phase, we will see flights till about the 18th of this month, and post that a call will be taken depending on the interest and the Indians that are still left there. What is important to understand here is this is a process for any Indian who wishes to leave Israel and wishes to come back home. So in the first flight that we've seen, which was about 212 Indians, it's a mix of professionals as well as students who were in Tel Aviv at various universities. As you rightly pointed out again, because they didn't want to take any chances, so sources were telling us this particular flight, in fact, was carrying 2 crews to ensure 2 things. One, the crew that was working from Delhi to Tel Aviv was not the same from Tel Aviv to Delhi, to ensure there is no fatigue for the crew, also so that there is no layover that is required for the crew. Now, post the 18th, we will have more clarity in terms of whether this operation will still continue. We still don't know whether flights will work on a daily basis or whether they will be in a gap of a couple of days. But the good news is that the operation is well underway. The first flight has already landed. This will be a big relief, not just for Indians who were stuck there, but for their loved ones back home as well.
All right, Ridhima, also the first flight has landed. Is the second flight on its way to Israel?
So yes, we do know that another flight, in fact, will take off from Tel Aviv today, and they will be following the same process. You would remember that the External Affairs Minister, when he in fact had announced Operation Ajay, had made something clear that they are doing a lot of things parallelly. You have the Indian Embassy that is already in touch with the Indians there. So as the first flight took off, the second set of people were already emailed and registrations for that happened. Now, we don't know the exact number of people who have registered for the second flight, but we can confirm that there in fact will be a second flight leaving Tel Aviv today as well.
All right, Ridhima, please stay with us. So let us walk you through what details do we have about the first flight that went to Israel to evacuate the Indians who are stranded there. Now, according to aviation ministry sources, the flights are carrying extra pilots and engineers. So there are 2 sets of crews in the flight, and the flights are prepared for any kind of situation. So this is as per the aviation ministry, and the flights are carrying 2 sets of crew, as I mentioned earlier. So one set of crew is taking the flight from India to Israel, and the other is bringing it back, and the flights operational till 18th in first phase. So in the first phase, the flights will be operational till 18th October, after which the call will be taken if the operation will be continued. The flights to evacuate 18,000 stranded Indians. So as many as 18,000 Indians are stranded in Israel, and Operation Ajay has been launched. But the decision to continue this operation will be taken after 18th October, depending on how many more Indians want to come back to India. And the Israel-Hamas war has entered its 7th day today, with number of casualties continuing to rise. In the Gaza Strip, the humanitarian crisis has worsened as the region's sole power plant exhausted its fuel supply.